since having MV2 now, are there any specific metrics or improvements that you've been seeing through your process of production?
Um, for sure. I mean, we went from waiting for one person to essentially finish the RPO so that we could move the parts. And what that caused was parts would build up all day long in a kind of a queue. And then they would finally get added into inventory through BC because of that one bottleneck. And then they'd all have to get put away. So our material handling team would see it build up all day long. They couldn't touch it because it wasn't real inventory in our system. And then they would just get slammed at the end of the day with it. Now that it's running throughout the day, because the operator can hit post on that and create the inventory, we've had huge gains in our efficiency just getting things out instead of it coming in one big chunk. They're working on it all day long, so material handlers are able to keep up faster. For sure is a big one. We can monitor times too. And it's really cool because we can actually see if somebody's off track or if they're on track, which is something we didn't have with just BC before. So
At one of your facilities, or maybe all of them, you have like a large display where it shows the dashboard of the yellow, red, and
yep.
green, and being able to see like how the cells are doing. Like I'm sure that visibility is really cool to see. And you said that you may not have had that kind before.
Oh, we for sure didn't have that before. And it was we had to do some tweaking because of the BC to MV2 launch, right? Us being the first ones.
Mhm.
It wasn't 100%, and now it's actually working. To be honest, I just sent my first email to the supervisors out there on the floor about, you know, one that's behind. And hey, can we look at this now? This is accurate data. Let's start to pay attention to it and see what we can go drum up. So it is flagging us and telling us when somebody's behind. And of course, that somebody behind might not be a people issue. It's, we're able to dig up some process issues. If we go knock on somebody's door and say, hey, we've noticed that your cell's behind, hopefully they're going to turn around and start pointing at a whole bunch of stuff and go, well, if this was better or this was faster or this was I could work better. Okay, cool. Let's go fix those. And it gives us that direction to find the next efficiencies.
Do you have any advice to give another Microsoft PC manufacturer considering MB2?
I mean, the easiest advice would be if it was a selling point is that this is BC is designed for things like this. And I don't know if that's unfortunately or fortunately, I've used BC and its, I guess, brothers before, whatever. BC is now all just BC, but at a company I was at before for 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
I also used a Microsoft version of BC, and it is absolutely meant for add-ons. That's what Microsoft builds them for. And so BC itself is very technical to be in, especially for the average user. Getting something like an MV2 that has a touch screen and has real big buttons and we have to hit, I think, 4 different buttons to flow something out. So it's very simple, button, 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 and you're done, as opposed to giving them a map in BC on how to make it through the system and get to where they need to go. So that would be the biggest advice is that, take the add-on that looks much prettier than BC and is much easier to interact with.